Thanks for joining us tonight. A proposed development near the Mylan Bottoms wetlands is marching on, and so is the fight against it. More than 24 people came to a public hearing for the expansion of a tax increment finance district near Bally's casino. Existing TIF funds would be used to help expand utilities and road infrastructure for a dispensary and large gas station and support the conservation of more than 500 acres of wetlands. The city says the TIF expansion is needed for the developers to purchase 10 acres adjacent to the wetlands. Maddie Fran shows us why environmental advocates oppose the idea and the new concerns they're raising tonight.
Another night of opposition to the proposed dispensary and gas station here at Rock Island City Hall. Environmental advocates reiterated their concerns with the projects. The nearby Mylan Bottoms hosts a large number of bald eagles on winter nights, an estimated half of the Quad Cities population. But the city says this project is needed for its long-term financial stability. At the meeting, several expressed concern with the environmental consultant the developer hired.
Mylan Bottoms is quite simply the most biologically rich and important wildlife habitat remaining in the Quad City area.
Kelly McKay has been a vocal opponent of the development for months. He also has decades of experience surveying bald eagles. He was trespassed from the proposed development site last week.
I've spent 88 hours in there. I've identified 162 species of, combination of amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals.
A Facebook comment from developer Matt Stern made McKay worry whether consultant Terracon was counting the endangered Blandings turtles correctly. It reads in part, "Get some skin on the game and you can fix some results."
This is serious because it certainly sounds like Matt Stern is admitting to buying the results he wants.
Stern disputes this, saying unpermitted surveyors like McKay could contaminate the study's results. He says in part, "We are spending money on our own research, Terracon. I don't check my exact language all the time, but this company is an official, real-deal company." While the city says it plans to use TIF funds for conservation and recreation access, Brian Ritter of Nahant Marsh says increased human activity could harm the wetlands.
The most sensible, least expensive, and most environmentally compatible option for these acres is to just simply leave them alone.
All right, so we want to bring in Maddie Franz now. Maddie, you've been following this story for months. You spoke with the developer about the preliminary results of the environmental study. What did you learn?
Right, so he hired this environmental consultant company to survey those 10 acres where that dispensary and truck stop would go in. And for their preliminary results, they did not find any of those endangered Blandings turtles. And that was one of the big concerns that these environmental advocates are worried about, that this would affect their habitat. So those results will be written up in an official report, and that will be submitted to the city. And the consultants also didn't find any bald eagles on that property. Now, it is also important to note that Kelly McKay, he did report finding 2 Blandings turtles not on this property, but in some of the adjacent wetlands. So he's saying that there are Blandings turtles in that area, but not exactly on that proposed site.
Okay, now there was no vote at the meeting tonight. So what are really the next steps for the city?
Right, so it'll be up to City Council to approve this TIF district expansion. So they will have 2 readings of the ordinance in both of those City Council meetings in July. That ordinance will be sent off to the state for approval, and then that will open up for the developer to purchase the land from the city. The developer wants that reassurance that there will be some money in there to help pay for those things like utilities and the road infrastructure.
All right, a lot of good reporting and story. Of course, we'll continue to follow. Maddie, thank you.